well, you know what? It will get its own section. It's my video. Fuck it.
Greetings. Welcome to episode 53. This is container 18, part 3. I will be finishing up this container in this video since there's very little left. So let's dive in and see what we have. And then at the end of the video, I'll give you an update of where I'm at with my more rare games, because I've been putting them off to the side. So I'll give you a little glimpse of that at the end. So, to get started, we have a Sonic the Hedgehog old school t-shirt. Yeah. Another gift from someone. And for some reason I have it in XXL and in size medium. So I don't know why. They were, well, this one was $3.60 at Kohl's. So maybe I thought that I would buy this and then eventually give it to somebody. Size medium, but I'm not size medium. Not anymore. Let's see what this is. Sega Inspire, Sega Creates, Attitude. This is some sort of guide. It looks very homemade, but it doesn't pertain to Game Gear. That's really strange. It's like someone bought like a binder or like a presentation folder thing that's like clear on the front and back and has the black spine that you slide down after you put whatever you want inside. That's weird. I don't know why the fuck I bought that. Alright, let's see. We have Zool, Ninja of the Nth Dimension. Complete in the box. I think in episode 1 or 2, no, part 1 or 2 of this container, I showed you a Zool, but I don't think it was complete in the box. So now there was one hiding in here. These are individually bubble wrapped. We have F-15 Strike Eagle in super good condition. I believe it was the last video that I found a mint and sealed copy of this game in the same container. So I probably had this copy, and then I found the still sealed copy and bought it. And just held on to both. We have Legend of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. This was another one that I think was just the box with the manual, maybe. And I need to dig out, go through all my loose games and find a cartridge to complete it. But this one is complete in the box. I can feel it. I can feel it, man. I can feel it. We have a mint sealed copy of Marble Madness. Guaranteed to drive you crazy when you lose your marbles. Oh, that's so clever. I don't think I've shown Marble Madness yet. This might be my first copy that I've come across. So this is kind of cool to come across it. Mint sealed, shrink wrap still. That's pretty cool. Let's see what we got here. We have an Earthworm Jim. One of my top Sega Game Gear games to play. One player, kids to adults. Eat dirt. It's a fun game. Earthworm Jim is a fun game. Can be pretty challenging, but fun. Oh, I remember this. This, my friends, is a bootleg copy of Earthworm Jim. And when I say bootleg, I don't mean a game that shouldn't exist, that someone programmed into existence. I'm saying that this is a very shitty, scanned copy of the original box, that someone went through the effort of recreating a box, scanning an actual game, and it's very pixelized, and the pictures are blurry, and it's very beat up for what it is. But I remember getting this and thinking, this just doesn't look right. There's a gap at the top where it doesn't line up, and the same thing, there's a gap at the top on the back, and the logos for like Playmates and the software company are really pixelized. And then I was like, it's a fucking ripoff. It's a bad bootleg. Bad bootleg. So yeah, it was very disappointing. The kids to adults label on the back is super dark. This is back when naive me was starting collecting, and I really wasn't 1,000% sure of certain things. And I bought this, and I was like, oh, I need the empty box. And then when I got it, I'm like, some motherfucker went through the effort of scanning it and then printing it on pretty convincing card stock, and then forming the box and gluing it. And I was like, son of a gun. And now here's another Earthworm Jim. Which is real. It's a beat up copy. Not beat up horribly, but it's definitely a worn box. But this was probably me in my attempts to get a really good condition, complete in box Earthworm Jim. And I'll offer further proof of that by presenting to you a mint sealed, still shrink wrapped, never opened, never played Earthworm Jim for the Sega Game Gear, one player, kids to adults. That's what I finally... That's the one that probably got me to stop buying Earthworm Jim games. Because I finally got one that was authentic and still sealed. But wait! You say, what is this? And I say, well, as you heard at the end of that clip, the sound started to go out, and I did not realize that the batteries in my wireless microphone died until after I was done filming the entire video, and I noticed the little blue light was off on the unit that attaches to the camera. So when I went back to start editing, I got to the point you just got to, and you could hear the sound just go nuts. So I cut it there, and I'm going to finish this container, showing you all the things that I showed you when the sound was out, except this time now we'll have sound. So, to start off, will be the last copy of Earthworm Jim. 90% shrink wrapped. Someone had cut the shrink wrap to open the game to play it. But that's another copy of Earthworm Jim. And let's add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 legit copies, and then the counterfeit. And counterfeit's the word I should use for that one box that someone made. Yeah, not a bootleg, it's a counterfeit. Rise of the Robots. When I first saw this box art and the screen grabs, I was like, holy crap, this game is going to be awesome. And it has to be one of the worst games on the system. The gameplay, the graphics, everything is just atrocious. So, admire the box, but don't play the game. Next up, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies, a James Cameron film. And my camera is focusing on Arnold Schwarzenegger's face. Interesting. Makes me wish more Game Gear boxes had human faces so my camera would focus more easily. But that's True Lies, complete in the box. We have an empty box. All boxes empty. Probably from a video game store. Where they'd put the box on the shelf, you'd come up, it's a shrink wrapped shut. You'd come up, check it out, decide you wanted it, you'd say, yeah, I'll pay $28.31 for that game, and then you'd take it up to the front, and they would find the game for you, and you would buy it, and you'd go home, and you would love it and think it's great, and then the video game store, whatever, would put this back out on the shelf. But this allowed you to see what games they had in stock, but would prevent you from stealing it because there's no game or manual in these boxes, just the empty box shrink wrapped. We have Sega Championship Moments, Genesis and Game Gear. Greatest moments in championship competition include sports action from Sega for Genesis and Game Gear. A random VHS tape. Try to tilt it to keep the glare down to a minimum. I've never watched this. I most likely found it at a thrift store. I don't recall buying this or ordering this, so I probably found it at a thrift store by coincidence and was like, hey, Sega Game Gear. Next we have a Japanese game, Buster Fight. Wrapped very, very carefully in clear plastic. I think this game might have another title. If it does, I will put it on the screen. But for some reason, I'm thinking that Buster Fight is the same game under a different title. But I'll investigate, and the proof will be on the screen if I'm right or wrong. Next up, we have Shining Force 2, Japanese game. I think there's more to the title than that, but again, it's hard for me to remember all the titles in their entirety. So I'll put it on the screen for you so you know, as well as the picture over there. Ooh! Now we have bootleg. We have Ghouls and Ghosts. I don't think I've ever seen this variation on a website that highlights bootlegs or multi-game cartridges, things like that, for Sega Game Gear. And the back of the box comes from the manual, one of the graphics of the cartoon graphic of the Game Gear, and he's saying absolutely nothing. He says you are holding an illegal product. Here's a more professional bootleg, Pac-Mania. It's a full color box. screen grabs on the back. But there's Pac-Mania. I knew I had that, I just didn't know where it was, so now I finally found it. It was hiding in this container with, looks like there's 2 games remaining, and both are bootlegged. We have Tennis Ace. Bootleg game from Japan. So Tennis Ace. And I don't know off the top of my head if there was a Sega Master System game named Tennis Ace, or if it's some other weird ripped game from some system. I don't know. I don't know Master System well enough to say that you know, oh, it was an SMS game, so they just ported it over. And then Time Soldiers. I feel like I've shown you this one before, but I may be wrong. Fight your way through the horrors of the past and future to rescue your friends and save the world in this fantastic voyage through time from Sega. So either I'm showing this to you again, or my brain had stored it, telling it that it was, I have already shown this, but I may be wrong. But this is the higher quality bootleg games, where the box quality is solid, the graphics, you could see somebody put some time into it. It's not black and white. It's not all blurry. So, those are all the games that were in the container. But at the beginning of this video, I said that I would show you an update on some of the more rare games that I have come across so far through the first 18 containers. I've put several off to the side just out of curiosity to keep track of how many copies I have, and do I have a really, really good copy of these games so I can stop hunting. So I will do a quick cut and be back with you in less than a second. And I'm back. And as you see before you are the games that I keep off to the side on the shelf. I have kept them out of the containers as I have found them, just to kind of keep track of what I have and what I don't have, and just to see how forgetting what you bought and then rebuying a game, how that can become very problematic. And I'll give you examples shortly. I have 2 copies of Man Overboard, a Codemasters game. So I have 2 copies of that. Not hugely rare, but rare enough to point out. Put those back up top. We have Sonic 2-in-1. I only have 1 copy of this that I've found so far, but my inner being tells me that I think I only have 1 copy of this game in total, but I could be wrong. We have Sega Game Pack 4-in-1. I have 2 copies of that. I thought I only had 1, but then I came across a second, so I was really surprised, because I was like, I didn't know I got 2 of that game. And the one that I'm showing you right now is unpunched, so it was never put on a peg and hung up anywhere. So that's kind of cool. Next, we have 2 copies of Galaga 2. So Galaga 2 is more rare, not insane, but more rare. Somebody in the last 6 months had a pristine copy. I mean, it looked beautiful, but they were asking so much money for that copy. It was just, I just laughed and said, I hope that they don't sell it. I hope they're stuck with it. We have This is the Smurfs Travel the World. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. One is sealed. Never opened, so I have 4 of that. I see this game pop up now and again. I don't think I've ever seen a sealed copy get sold, but nevertheless, it's a little obscure. Next we have F1 World Championship Edition. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 copies of F1 World Championship Edition. I did not realize that I had purchased 4. I knew that I had at least 2, probably my first, and then the second was probably an improvement copy on the first. Next we have Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tarzan pops up now and again. The price varies depending on the condition of the box, if it's 100% complete. The credibility of the seller as well, because some of these games, I'm not saying all these, but some of these games can go for over $1,000. And if somebody who's shifty and shady got it in their head that they could counterfeit boxes and sell them off and make thousands of dollars on minimal effort, that would be bad. So, if you're on the market for some of these harder to find games, make sure you ask for 1,000,000 pictures of the game box and the manual so that you know what you're getting is real and not some piece of counterfeit bullshit that someone put together at home and is trying to pass off as the real thing, because that would suck. I would not want to hear any collector having that experience. It would definitely take the fun out of collecting. Wizard Pinball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have, I guess I can just hold up just one. We have 5 copies of Wizard Pinball. I remember back when I got my first copy, I was very excited because I had been looking for it for a long time. And then over the years, found it 5 more times, a total of 5 times. I know that I found it more than that, but I bought it 5 times. Now for the most embarrassing would be Championship Hockey, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 copies of Championship Hockey. That I am surprised by. I do not remember. I have zero memory of buying 6 copies of this game. I know I have one. The one that I'm holding is in super great condition, but I didn't realize that I had 5 others. And last but not the least, we have 2 copies of Power Drive that I have found so far. I may have a 3rd copy, not sure. Something in my brain says I might have a 3rd copy. But so far, out of 18 containers, I have found 2. So 2 is better than none. If I find more, I'll share it. So, yeah. I'll see you back next week, in 1 week, I should say, on Friday. I post all my videos each Friday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it'll be container 19, part 1. So I need to now take pictures of everything that came out of this container, label them, put them in protective boxes, fill this container back up, and take it and exchange it for container 19 and start the process over next week. I hope you're healthy. I hope your job is treating you well. And in the meantime, please be well.